Anyways, I'm back. It's been a hot minute since I put out a video or did anything creative, and you might be wondering what's kept you away. Well, but regardless, I've had an idea, and I'm excited to work on it. So let's dive in. So to get started on that, first we have to clear off a few things. But that should be easy enough with a little... Now, this idea came to me because I got a new phone recently, and I always love kind of personalizing my everyday items. And those of you who know me well know that I'm a huge fan of Berserk. In fact, if you've seen in the background of any of my other videos, if you don't know about Berserk, well, it's definitely not for the faint of heart, but still one of my favorite series. And one of the most iconic images from the series was the brand on the back of Guts' neck. So I decided for this one, I would try to make my own brand of sacrifice for the back. Now, the first attempt wasn't so great. As you can see, it's very off-center, and you can even see, if I can not blind the camera, the very poor paint quality with which I did this. Now, it was just a one-shot idea, but a couple days later, an idea came to me. Because if you notice on the back, there's actually a bit of space between the case and the back of the phone. And that made me think, what if I actually got some leather and made this look like branded skin? My wife actually found this for me the other day at the hobby store. It's just simulated leather. It looks like it was probably made for scrapbooking with a felt back. But it has the proper texture of what would actually be skin. So, ideas. To get started on this, we'll have to start by actually taking the phone case apart. Yeah, see that? I already broke it. What we can do is take a basic sheet of thin white paper, lay out the paper on the back of the case, and just try to mark out the high areas where the edge would be. Oops. And just like that, you have a basic outline where you need to make your template. So now we take this X-Acto knife, and what is definitely not one of my wife's fancy cutting boards, and slowly follow the outline. Now, for a quick test fit, need to fix that, do some minor trimming around here, but otherwise it's pretty spot on. Now we'll just take our fancy piece of leather, and to keep from contaminating it, we'll transfer the template onto the back. Now, to make sure you have your template facing the right way, make sure you want the side that's going to be facing out matching the layout on your pattern. And then with a simple ballpoint pen, we can simply trace out the design. Should have bucked it to the edge, but this will work. This will work fine. I'm not panicking about wasted materials. Now that we've got our insert made, we can burn in the actual branded design. Now, how are we going to do that? With this. It's an old wood burner that I've had laying around and made like 2 wood burning pieces with. So it should work out fine. Now, wood burners are hot, and this material is very thin and easy to burn through, so I suggest having a backup piece. Now, because I actually value my life, I'm not going to use the fancy cutting board, but a scrap piece of wood from one of my other abandoned, temporarily on pause projects. And because I spent so much time making this piece, I'd rather not screw it up on the first go. Instead, I cut a second similar piece, so we can try and get the right settings for the burner. Now, like I said a second ago, this tool is very hot, which makes it easy to do quick designs in the leather. It also creates a lot of smoke, and so not knowing what this material is actually made of, I would recommend wearing a respirator of some sort, unlike this genius. Alright, after a few bouts of practice, I say we've got the hang of it. So let's go ahead and sketch in very lightly where we need to follow. Okie dokie. Alright, well, here goes nothing. So after all that, I finally managed to get it done, at least as far as I'd envisioned it being done. But honestly, this has been done for several days now, and in that time, I've managed to lose my hat. If you see it somewhere, please let me know. But while staring at this the past several days, I can't help but feel like it's just missing a little something. To make it look more like a fresh brand, I took these red paints that I found and decided to fill in some areas to make it look like it was still bleeding on occasion. I used the darker one to fill in most of the areas, while using the lighter red to highlight the fresher blood dripping out. Afterwards, I mixed up a bit of clear Mod Podge with some water to add a shine to the fresher blood. And with all that finished and dried, I could finally put it back together and move on to the final shots. And there you have it. Not a whole lot to this project, but still a fun and unique one. Looking at it now, I wish I had gotten a lighter tone, or maybe even done some dry brushing to liven it up. But all in all, it's still pretty awesome. So if you like what you saw, be sure to give this a thumbs up to let me know. And maybe even subscribe to see more projects at some point in the future. Until next time. And on a coincidental note, the first chapter since we lost Mira released just last week. There's been a lot of concern about how it would go after losing Mira, but I knew it took a lot for the team to decide to continue with this project. With time, I know they'll find their stride, and we can look forward to great things from them.